Good morning, this is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, winter edition 2025, it rained yesterday. Temperatures went up, rained. Most of the snow is gone. Most of the snow is gone. So, with that, yeehaw! I love the snow, as long as I don't have to drive in it or shovel it. But I usually have to do both, or at least shovel. And so we only have our piles. We only have our piles that we shoveled off the deck. So, not bad. We'll take it. It is a balmy 42 degrees. 42 degrees. It feels like spring. It's awesome. Little bit of breeze. That's my weather report. All right, moving right along. It is Thirsty Thinking Thursday. I went on to YouTube this morning, just right before here, because I turned it on, right? When I turn on YouTube, there's a countdown clock. It counts down and then you're live, right? On the shorts, you get 3 minutes. You have no countdown clock. But I'm so used to pausing for the countdown clock that I end up wasting a couple of seconds. Oh, I just lost my voice. Did you hear that? It was way high. It wasted about 3 seconds, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm live now. And trying to get the subject matter, a lot of times when I come on, I'm like, I don't have the subject matter. I do my introduction, I do the weather report, I tell you about some things going on, like, right now I'm telling you about my experience with YouTube. By the way, I need 50 subscribers to get longer than 3 minutes, so therefore go in, hit subscribe, hit notifications, hit like, watch the videos on double speed. I tell you, double speed is a game changer. Wish Facebook had it. They do not. But if you are on a computer, you can download a speed controller, in which case you can watch my videos on double speed. But if you're watching from your phone, I do not think they have it for the phone, or at least not a free version. So, with that, YouTube has been an experience. This is disgusting. I thought I picked it up on the dry end. Slimy dog slime. All right, I got to put on my toy throwing glove on. All right, here we go. We'll get this going. This is why 3 minutes just does not work for YouTube. However, I do have to say that it is a training process. It's teaching me to do it faster. Wish I had a little bit more time. Like, I would love for them to give me 15 minutes and not 3 minutes, because I could probably pull it off in 15 minutes and just have to practice the honing of the message while I'm doing it, because it's all impromptu. It's not something that I practice and hop on and then do, because then it's clunky. Where this is just freewheeling, and it's like, as I'm speaking, the thoughts are coming, and so I can expound on those thoughts. See, the whole thing is yucky, slimy. She's a happy dog. She's not slipping on ice. All right, so there she is. We got to pick up her toys at night. The foxes are around, and they have been known to steal her toys. And she's limited on what toys she can have, because most dog toys she can tear up in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. So she kind of all has the same type of toy. See this ball? That was not 5 minutes, but that's what she can do in 5 minutes of a normal dog toy. I think that was weather related. So yeah. YouTube. Those were squirrel moments. It's all about the dog, right? That I come out here with the dog. She eats her breakfast. She has not eaten her breakfast yet. She goes, she does her business, hopefully. She plays. It's all about the play. Everything else is secondary. So, you know, she plays, she comes up, she'll eat her breakfast, and then maybe she'll go do her business. So I'm out here for quite a while she's deciding whether to do her business or not. No matter what the weather. We try not to come out in the rain because she has funnels like Batman, and the water goes right into there and then causes all sorts of infections and problems. Oh, sweetheart. Her hind legs are I don't know if it's muscle weakness or if it's hip dysplasia or if it's that she needs to lose some weight. She's not a fat dog. She's a German Shepherd. German Shepherds have, she's a fat bottom girl, you know? That's her breed. A friend of ours gave us some little underpants for, before we got her fixed, because we wanted to make sure she went through a couple of cycles before we got her fixed, so that we weren't robbing her of any nutrients or anything as she was growing. And so his mom raised Doberman Pinschers. Those of you who know the anatomy of German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers, they are quite different. Doberman Pinschers have a teeny tiny buttocks. German Shepherds have a big butt. This has nothing to do with my morning view. This is me telling you what's going on and what it's really all about. It's not really all about the dog, but she thinks it is. So we had to talk about her for a little bit. Even your hiney. Yeah. But you know, the vet thought that it may have been that she just needed to lose some weight, but we don't know. We have some questions. So eventually we got to take her back. Might have to get some x-rays or something. I don't like the idea of doing x-rays on the dogs because they want to put them under. And I don't like going under. Okay? I certainly don't want my doggy to go under. You know, so if we can find out what it is without doing that, that would be amazing and wonderful. So, that's where that is. All right. Moving right along. My morning view. Thirsty Thinking Thursday. What I did on the YouTube this morning was I was talking out the idea of being a student and a teacher. That through life, we are always a student. You have to get into your mind that you are always a student. I've been in situations where there are teachers who come in as a student and they don't take off their teacher hat. They're more about trying to instruct the other students, to help the other students, to be a mentor to the other students. Not their job in this place. What they are is to be a student. Now, if you guys do a study team together or any of that and have off time that you're getting to know each other, and as a friend you're learning to, you're starting friendships and stuff, and if that friend wants the advice that you have as a teacher, then by all means there's nothing against doing that. But when you're in the teaching environment where you are the student, put down your teacher hat. I don't care if you've been a teacher for 65 years. If you are a student there, you came there to learn something, focus on the learning. Focus on listening to your instructors. You do not have to agree with them. Okay? I was in a situation back when I was in school, when I lived in Tennessee, went to Kentucky to school because I lived on the border. There was a teacher there. He was a history teacher, secular teacher, not biblical studies. It was about history. And he was telling the students about the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And he was saying that the Sadducees believed in the resurrection and the Pharisees did not. Teacher, I can't let things go, well, at that time. Today, I can keep my mouth shut to a certain extent. But But back then, no. I was going to correct this because I can't have people that don't read the Bible being taught by somebody who doesn't read the Bible just the opposite of what it was. It's something simple. I don't think people are going to lose their salvation over whether the Pharisees or the Sadducees, what they believed and what they didn't believe. But I do believe that the right information should be put out. So I told him about the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and I said, the Sadducees did not believe in the resurrection, therefore they were sad, you see. And the Pharisees, they did believe in the resurrection, which caused them to be fair, you see. They weren't sad. He didn't like my way of, remembering. I'm like, that's how you can remember it. Didn't like that idea. He's like, you're wrong. I go, I have my Bible in my car. I could go get it and we can look at it and you can see for yourself that I'm not wrong. Now, that put a mode into the classroom. Because you think those students are going to just take what that they were all adults. We were all adults. We weren't just 18-year-olds coming into college. We were people with children. We were people that had jobs. We were people that had served in the military or were serving in the military at the time. Because the class was on base. It was through an outside school. It wasn't a school through the base. It was actually a secular college outside of the government system, right? So you know what they did? They looked it up. This is back before Google, guys. Back before Google. They didn't have the search engines back in the 90s like they do here. Yes, this is not the first time I went to college. The first time I went to college, it was right after high school. This wasn't the second time. Second time I went to business college. Third time I was going for nursing. Had to get my prerequisites taken care of first. And I schooled the teacher. So once the students found out that I was right, they kind of lost respect for him. And he used to harass me, not horribly harass me, like tease, harass, but do it very vindictively. It wasn't out of jest. It was out of, you made me look bad, so now I'm going to make you look bad. But all it really did was make him look bad because I never rebutted after that. He wants to attack my personal character. It was like, you don't know me. So what you have to say really doesn't matter. So when he would say things to me, the other students were like, you're going to let him do that to you? And I'm like, it's a quick class. They were shortened classes because they were geared for those people in the military so that if they were getting deployed shortly, they knew not to take the class. So the emergency deployments, they were something else. But, yeah. So they were designed to be quick. Kind of like a lot of the online classes today. They didn't have online classes back then. So the online classes today are like 7-week modules. And that's kind of like what that was. It was a shortened version of the actual class, but you still did the exact same content. So you were like crunched for time to get it done. You were crunched to learn the stuff faster. All right, so now she gave me this one. Yeah, look at that nastiness. All right, so they started, he was a short man, and they would start coming into the class walking like the penguin, because he kind of waddled like the penguin, and having their hand, I can't do it right now because my glove is disgusting. I'll take it off. They would put their hand into their jacket and they would come in like this. They were like, Napoleon complex. I did not do that. I did not jest with the man. Not at all. He did not jest with me. He just would try to do cuts that he thought was funny, and the rest of the students were upset in my defense. So at the end of the whole season, right, I saw how it was working, right? So at the end of the year for the final, we were able to do the final. We grade the final. You could hang out, wait to see what your grade was. And so that's what I did. And at the end, I was the very last one to get graded. He put the grades in the book. He said, okay, you can find out what your grade is. I came up, last one to find the grade out. And he didn't even know my name. He asked me my name. The class wasn't that big. So he goes down to my name. He goes across and he sees that I am his top student. That I got hundreds all the way across. That I got an A in his class. Yes, you got an A. You're the top student. And I went, thank you. And I took my stuff and I left. I didn't make a mockery of him or any of that. But there was times when he would sit there and he would say, he knew I was going for nursing. He was like, I would hate to have somebody like you taking care of me because you're a numbskull. Or something, he would say something really mean and obnoxious. And that's why the other students didn't like it. Especially when I had some of the students in some of my other classes and they knew that half the time, I was a pretty good student. Other than a few times when there were some ice storms and it knocked out my electricity, and so I ended up not getting an A in the class just for the fact that I couldn't type my paper and I was freezing to death, and it's kind of hard to function when you have no electricity in a student capacity. So I had to make up those classes in order to bring up my 4.0 back again before I could get into the nursing program. Let me tell you, it's a lot easier to fall away from your 4.0 than it is to get it back. You would think that if you drop down to a B or a C in 2 classes, that it would take getting an A in 2 more classes to get it back, but that's not how it works. All right. So, moving right along to we don't always have to prove we're right in a student environment. We don't have to. It's okay to suggest, I guess, if the teacher is definitely wrong and you have proof that they're wrong. Do not. See, I had proof. I didn't have it right then and there. I had it in the car. But I had it. It wasn't my opinion. He had an opinion of Jesus not rising from the dead and going to sit on the right hand of the Father. He was telling everybody that Jesus went to the south of France, where he lived with his wives, and Mary Magdalene was one of them. I mean, where is the proof of these things? And where does the proof of these things come from? Where there was a whole lot more proof in the Bible and historians of the time I'm sure he could find some opinions of the day, but where was the proof other than the opinions of the day? So, for those of you, hi Jackie, thank you for watching. When you're a student, take off your teacher hat. Jackie's a teacher, pretty sure, even if she's retired. Take off your teacher hat and be the student. Even if you know they're wrong, give them the answers that they want on the test, but make sure that if they're wrong, you do your research to make sure that you are correct. Because you don't want to keep moving on teaching in the wrong information. So today, for Thirsty Thinking Thursday, many of us are teachers in some aspect in our life. But when we put ourselves into a teaching into a student environment where we're coming in to learn, to be the student, we need to take off that teacher hat so that we can actually have space to learn, right? That's all I have for today. Blessings, everybody. Think about what areas are you the student? Remember, we are always a student. We are a student until probably even after the day we die. So we are always a student. There are times when we are the teacher. But when we're in that student mode, take off that teacher hat. Find out, where are you a student today? If you are not finding that you are a student in any place, you may want to change that. Because we are always growing. We are always learning. We are always moving. Because when you don't, you've given up. What areas are you teaching? And are the people you teaching taking off their teacher hat to be the student? All right, that's all I got. Blessings, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for Feisty Friday. You know I love Feisty Friday. I'll be on YouTube. I don't know how feisty I can be in 3 minutes. Again, I'm moving over to YouTube. I'm continuing on here until my YouTube channel is ready to go. Right now, it's only allowing me 3-minute shorts because I need 50 subscribers. So go over to Mona E. Harrison, hit subscribe, hit notifications, hit all the bells and whistles, so that I can get 50 subscribers so I can go longer than 3 minutes. Yes, I don't want to go lengthy like I've been doing here. What's happening with YouTube is it's teaching me to go faster, like really faster, and, but you're really not getting the meat of the content. You're just getting the frosting. And so with that, what I want to say is watch it, put it on fast speed. I'm going to be putting on videos eventually. I'm going to be clipping videos to make them shorter, and hopefully as I go over to YouTube and I get more than 3 minutes, then at that time I can hone this down to 15 minutes. I really don't want to take more than 15 minutes on these trainings. And then you can go there, watch it on double speed, get it in 7 minutes. Believe me, I do not talk so fast that you cannot understand me when you put it on double speed. You can definitely put it on double speed, even though I'm talking really fast right now. All right. Bye. See you tomorrow.